What is up, guys? It is Joey and Tom, and we are back once again. Man, that sounds kind of weird. I'm going to say Tom and Joey. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. It's like Drake and Josh, you know what I'm saying? But we are back with another episode of Runescape Chronicles. This is episode number 2. Tom, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing fantastic.
That's what I like to hear.
Had that Fashionscape contest earlier. For those who aren't aware, we actually recorded the second episode prior. We had some audio issues. We were gonna keep the video up originally for we had a Fashionscape contest. 8 mil total prizes. First place 5 mil, second 3, and third with 1. The audio thing kind of sucked, but it was definitely a nice little touch. People were definitely happy. We actually had some people follow us into the other worlds, and there was some guy with us recently, right? What did he do? Just ran.
Yeah, he went to get something.
Yeah.
And
he followed us over. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all about the community. We like to give back. I mean, you donated a lot for that. We still have that. The audio didn't get skewed from that, at least, so that was nice.
That's a nice little touch.
Yeah, so we're here back, another episode. What do you want to start off with?
Alright, I guess before we got cut off, and this is still something I want to talk about anyway, is the Iron Man. I know, but I know we like talking about becoming one, but it's always just so difficult because of the time factor. You gotta involve a lot more time into it rather than if you're just playing as a regular player. But I feel kind of left out that all these people are becoming Iron Mans, at least with their second accounts, and we're just here. I feel
Yeah, you almost kind of feel inferior, which is it's crazy, to be honest, to think about that. That game mode came out and can make you feel inferior like that. But at the same time, it's cool that there's something in the game that's drawing you and making you want to play something else and give it a try, something you would probably never really think about before. I mean, I remember when Bodie and other people on YouTube did it before it was official, and a friend did it. I feel bad for them, actually, because they have these accounts that they don't have the symbol. They're not actually Iron Men, so...
Yeah, dude. I almost feel like slighted too, because that's kind of how I was. I mean, maybe mine is rune crafting, but everything else was literally me from the jump, like going from bowstring, like getting like 80 fucking crafting just from bowstrings, and then wood cutting and bows to get 99, fletching, and doing all of that. So I know exactly not to their extent because they're pretty crazy, but it's kind of. I don't know. But that's the same thing. With when they restarted EOC. When they did VOC and they restarted 07 Escape, and then you just have to do all those skills again. It's just like
yeah, it would after all this time. It's even though we're not maxed or anything, it would kind of suck to have to go back and inherently do all the skills over again. I think it's daunting, but it's also the gameplay is so different because you're doing everything by yourself. You can't just trade yourself over X amount of gold, which I think is like a really interesting dynamic because that's something that you like inherently do when you create a new account. Usually, like some people, they'll make maybe they'll put their own stipulations in place where they don't do that. But I feel like generally you always have someone else to rely on. Donations if you're a bigger streamer or something like that, or like I was saying, yourself, you can just trade over a bunch of gold. But with the Iron Man, I mean, it's really the who's who if you can pull it off, and you have to play the game in different ways, train in ways you never would normally. For better or for worse, I suppose.
I agree with that. So that leads me to this question for you, Joe. What is your favorite updates that has had, and also your least favorite? Let's go with that.
I mean, my least favorite, I hate to be cliche, but my least favorite was either probably when they added the trading limit, just because it was so silly. Like, it's really hard to recruit people into a game like this, especially if you can't like give them some gold or like help them out and get them started. Like I know when I first started, once I got full mithril from the girl that I told you about last episode, who inspired me to play, and like that gave me something to work towards, right? And if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't. I don't even know if I'd still be playing today. 10, 11 years later. So
Yeah, that'd be
right?
crazy.
I mean,
Crazy, right? It'd be crazy, right? If you could only get like iron fucking chain bodies and shit
yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
Like that's not exciting. I was like, what is this blue armor? And maybe with the trade limit, someone might be like, oh, it was possible to trade mithril. Well, that's not necessarily the point because there's other things that you get from your friends along the way, and you take that away and it's just not fun. And you couldn't merch like you can. Like I'm not a big merch or anything like that, but that was something. It was like it'd be like living in real life where like the price doesn't fluctuate, like you know what I mean, and it just wouldn't, like nothing ever goes on sale, like it would just it's like living in a world that you don't really have any say.
It's like communism. It's like
You don't have a say over anything, which is really really lame.
It's like the theory of communism. Everybody has to have the same thing. Like if you can't have the same thing, then you can't get ahead. That's kind of what the trade limit reminds me of, because it was what, like 5,000.
Yeah, and then you got more if you had more quest points. You were allotted more to trade, but that's irrelevant because if the person you're trading with doesn't have a lot of quest points, that doesn't benefit them. You can just trade multiple people more gold, I suppose, but that's not really. Yeah, that's not the point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It makes it hard too. Like when you're starting up a new account, say like for a pure like a skiller or something.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Anything over, just make it possible. Yeah, dude. I remember that. That's why I stopped playing a lot. Actually,
that was why I stopped playing, just because I had we both had multiple accounts, and it's like when you have your wealth spread around, it's just like a slap in the face.
Yeah, dude. I don't. Yeah, that's a big one too. So what is your favorite?
My favorite would either be old school RuneScape coming back, because I honestly never would have played again with the current iteration of the live game, and it brought all of us back. It's just the nostalgia factor, and to that point, I would say getting rid of the trade limit, as cliche as that also is. Also would probably be up there, just because that brought us all back. It was during the COD World at War. Great time to be alive and playing video games. When that came out, man, it was like, I felt rejuvenized. It was a game I could play again and really enjoy, and it brought us all back, and we got to, have more memories together. And I don't think there would have been no draw to come back had that still been in place.
Yeah, I don't think this podcast would even exist if it didn't come back.
It definitely wouldn't.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
It's just weird to think about, but it's just it's true.
Yeah, I don't think I would have came back either.
There would have been no reason.
That's a good point, because I remember. Yeah, I think I tried Runescape, whatever they call it, EOC.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the official name is. I think it's just RS3, but. It just kind of
we'll call it RS. We'll just go RS. We'll just go RS. I remember doing that, dude. And it just reminded me of like a really kiddie Disney show. It seemed like, all right. So I think I was in Port Sarum, maybe. Right outside of Draenor. And it just looked so cartoonish, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It just was terrible, dude. It was. I felt like I was a 6-year-old. I mean, I could get that, but I get it for newer generations and things like that. Like I understand that, but at the same time, the game was so brutal at the beginning. Like especially with RuneScape Classic. You know what I mean? Like it's just I couldn't. I don't know.
Yeah. So let me ask you this really quick before I ask you what your favorite and least favorite were. If you're a kid today, like, how do you feel the age of the player base is? I feel like it's kind of older, right? Because if you show a kid old school RuneScape and you show them RS3, I feel like I saw someone say this in the GE, so that's why I want your take on it. He was saying if you show them RuneScape 3 and you show them old school, any kid would be enamored by RuneScape 3 and would be like, what is this old piece of shit looking at old school RuneScape, right? Because and we play it because we're older, right? Like I'm 23, you're 25. We play it because it's nostalgic for us. Like we remember playing it back then. Like that's what the appeal is for all the people who play. Like obviously there's kids playing it, but what do you think? Would you agree with the sentiment that guy had?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just because the way I look at it is you can kind of tell. You can kind of tell when people talk now, like that they're our age group. I guess that's older,
Yeah.
right? I would consider younger, like 21 and under,
Yeah.
right? Is that what we're doing with that? What I would think is, it's definitely older. You can tell by the way people talk. For one, that's for certain. For two, a lot of the people who played this game were starting out like 10 years ago. So they're obviously grown, they're grown just from like us as an example, right? So we were playing when we were like 10, even younger,
Right,
I think
yeah.
I started when I was maybe 8, 9, something like that, which is kind of crazy to think about. If you go, that's maybe 15 years ago, plus now, just to be conservative. We're older. There's plenty of people that were in the same boat. They're older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. I could definitely see that. You would think so too, right?
No, yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
What do you think?
I would think the player base is older.
Yeah,
I feel like you can just
yeah,
tell by
yeah,
the interactions. Like there's still a lot of, toxic nature in the game, but it just feels like it's an older player base. I feel like that's why people are a little less social, just because they've kind of played before. They had their old friends, and they might not be looking for. They're just looking to play the game and relive it, not necessarily make friends like you would when you're 15, 16, things of that nature. So, I think that's one of the things, and it's kind of a shame. But at the same time, it's the way it goes, I guess.
I forgot to mention too. God, I almost lost my train of thought. Again. Hold on, let's see if I catch it. Oh, all right, yeah. So one thing that I kind of realized too is this game isn't as like forthcoming as a lot of games. You know what I mean? Like when you first start out the game, there's a lot of hold your hand type of
Right.
With this game, they've obviously updated it a bit. They updated it a lot more players, but I just remember, you kind of just learn like a lot of the skills you have to have some type of you got to be some type of intelligence to succeed in this game. Like there's plenty of people that just are average mediocre. I don't mean to like you got to be intelligent in this game, and usually that comes with not saying
Yeah.
you have to be like 40 years old experienced,
For sure.
past high schools. You know what I mean? Like whereas I feel like 3 it's a lot more step by step hand holding, easier NPC dialogue, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
too.
no, I definitely agree with
You know
that.
what I mean?
I feel like that's one of the things where, just in this day and age, games are a lot more, they're just so much more like handheld. And, maybe that's just, the thing of where I come from a different generation than the kids who are playing now. But it just seems like games are a lot less challenging, and they're more, catered towards the, the casual player. And I feel like that's the audience they're going towards, like mobile games. Mobile games aren't complex by any stretch of the imagination in most cases. I know old school is supposed to go to mobile, but, it's just, I think lost along the way is like the challenge of, like you said, you had to find your own way and you had to figure things out on your own. Like I feel like that's such an important part of games, and it's just kind of being stripped away. Like, and you can see that in RuneScape 3. It's such a different game.
I tend to agree with that. So going off that, I'm gonna say we're talking about updates.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, favorite and least favorite.
All right. So favorite update. I'll go least favorite first, because favorite I'd have to think about that. My least favorite, and this is gonna be maybe not the most popular. People are gonna be like, dude, that's stupid. But my least favorite update is actually the Grand Exchange.
Really?
There's a couple reasons why.
I'm excited to hear them.
Yeah, there's a few reasons why. some of it actually ties into your trade limit, which the Grand Exchange and the trade limit kind of went hand in hand. If people remember the updates, they kind of went together pretty
Yeah.
close together, at least if I can correctly.
I feel like that's what enabled them to come up with that. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So my main problem is kind of I like trading with people. I like the businessman aspect of trading. Like that's the whole point of this game is it's a MMORPG. The whole point is to play with other people,
Right.
it's to interact with other people. If I wanted to trade with a PC to get everything, I'd be playing Xbox.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The case, and
It does make it an automated process where there's no real human interaction. Even if two people are the ones trading, it's not, it's not like it used to be with the post, and even before the post, you had to, use Cybes, I think it was called, and that was a whole different dynamic in the game, and it was kind of cool.
Yeah, and the other thing about the GE that kind of bugs me too, which doesn't make sense because it's a Grand Exchange, is that there's still trade limits. Basically. You know what I mean? I remember alching on my way to 99, certain things I just couldn't. Like I would try to buy certain objects to profit for an out because as hard as it may be to believe, you can profit from which I did, which stunned a lot of people. There's a lot of ways.
Right. Yeah, you just got to buy the right thing at the right time.
There would be a but the problem though is that the Grand Exchange would actually have a limit as to how many of those things you could buy. So it would kind of fuck you over because you could buy them when they're dropped and they would go like that, but you would only be able to buy a certain amount. And then you could try to convince other people. Then becomes a whole ball game of people thinking and trying to scam them and things like that. So the Grand Exchange, I'm just not a fan of it. I come from an age where I used to merch sharks and shit like that. So I'm make profits off of that, like interactions off of that. Not to do people over, but it's just you make friendships that way too.
Right, for sure. You have a good deal with them, yeah.
Business, but yeah, you know what I mean. It's like a whole business. It's like a whole business type of thing. You guys see a guy who's fishing, you pay him to fish, and then you sell it. Like it's a whole thing, man. Like a whole economy. And I feel like the GE just basically ruins that. And I'm not a fan. Can't do it.
So what's your favorite update then?
But favorite update. Favorite update. That's fucking tough, dude. Favorite update. This is terrible. I don't know if I really. I can't really say. Maybe PC actually. Pest control.
Really?
I like
Yeah, that was.
I'll go with pest.
It sucks that they nerfed Range Void. I completely understand why they did it, but I miss when that was like completely overpowered. And it was nice.
I liked PC because PC was kind of like a clan event. Not necessarily clan, so to speak, like a social event rather. Where you're usually not going alone for the most part, unless you're just trying to get void, which no power to you. But usually, whenever I did, I was always at least with one person, and we'd be having fun, trying to grind the skill together, strength, magic, range, you name it. And I think it's pretty cool that they got the reward system based. I would make it a little more rewarding. But that's just me. I like the concept. I like the idea. I think it's pretty neat. I think it's that'd probably be my favorite. I guess. I'm not too big on maybe that and some of the items. They have a lot of neat items too that come out, which I'll go with that too.
All right, I like that. And pest control is one of those things where it's a grind, and it's a status symbol once you get rid of it, and it's really rewarding. Like going back to how it's something where it's not really handed to you. You really have to put in the time. Like I remember getting it the go around on this game when it came out again. It was not by any stretch. It's time consuming. It's not something that you just get. like some people AFK, but I like how there's that the what do you call it? The time constraint, or not the time constraint. You have to do a certain number of damage. Like I thought that was a really cool concept. Even if 50 is easy, but you can't just go in there and not play. So I always like that concept.
It's like a whole team
Yeah.
aspect. That's what I like. That was kind of my thing. It's like a more intricate version of Castle Wars to me, minus the capture the flag.
Right.
Because it's kind of like a team like you have to run as a team, which I think they should do a lot more with Castle Wars. But that's just my opinion.
I think eventually they will.
That used to be one of the.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to be the place though. Do you remember way back in the day, like everybody used to fucking play Castle
Yeah, man, everyone loved it, and rightfully so. It was a good game mode.
Now nobody touches it. Fucking insane. They got insane. They got to. I feel like they need to do better. Actually, that'd be a good. What do you think they could do? What do you think they could do better?
All right, so
as like
I have two
interaction
two things. One of them is catered around that. So I'll ask for your opinion on this, but I'll give you my idea. So I feel like questing is one of those things where it would be a lot more enjoyable if you could share that experience with at least one other person. And so how would you feel if they implemented into the game, you could duo questing, or have a party like at the WoW system up to 5 and do quests together. But the caveat to that is anything you fight is, if you have 2 people in there, the boss has double the health or something like that, double the damage that it deals. So it's the same relative difficulty.
Yeah. That would be a great idea. Actually.
You think so? You like that?
I actually like that a lot. Yeah. Dual questing is I'm kind of surprised they haven't found a way to work that into the system itself, because I feel like that's in every game. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know.
Yeah, like some people like I'm not a big quester, but I'll do it when I need to. But,
yeah, definitely not. Yeah, definitely not.
But like if I could do it with somebody else, I'd be so much more inclined to be like, all right, well, this is because you have someone else to talk to while you're doing it. Like, it is an MMORPG, and I feel like sometimes this game loses that feel a little bit sometimes, just because everything can be so solo. And I feel like just with I'm not that I know of that it's never been. I mean, I'm sure it's been recommended or some. I'm not saying I am the only person who ever thought of the idea, but stuff like that would be.
I was wondering if it was ever polled. I don't remember it ever seeing it polled. I mean, would that like? You think that would be a lot for like the developers to fix?
I mean, it might be. I don't know. I don't know enough about that. But I mean, I would think it'd be a worthwhile update where, because I don't say this like in a rude way, but like they get paid to enhance the game. So like, if you can do something that might be difficult but is gonna really help the game, I think that's like a no-brainer,
I would like that a lot. One thing that I would think they should do, if they were to do that, like, are you talking about only having one other person, or like kind of like a massive amounts sort of thing, like or like a party of 5? Like, are you talking like a limited aspect of people, or is it just you just trying to do a duo?
I mean, if possible, I would say do up to maybe like 3 or 4, because you don't want it to be too big, because then you're just gonna have people getting carried, and it'll turn into a thing where like, all right, how do I, like, a player who's good is just going to start selling it to as many people as possible if it's a party of 5, and then that's just going to be, I don't think that would be what they would want in the game, but I think if you could duo it, you could still carry people, and I mean, either way, you're going to have that issue, but regardless, I still think, I don't know, I like the duoing aspect. I just think it's like, 2 people, it's personal. I don't know.
It would definitely make questing a lot funner. I feel like there would be a lot of people who would get more questing games.
Yeah.
I feel like if that was the case, you know what I mean. I know I would, and I'm not even a huge. Well, I hate questing. that would definitely help me. The only thing I would think of though is like they couldn't make the bosses the same strength, and that would. I feel like maybe if you do it like 1.5 times, so it's difficult but not
backbreaking, or yeah, that I think
impossible.
a really big issue with it would be the scaling, I think. And because because I guess if it deals twice as much damage, right, like you're just gonna get fucked up by some of those harder bosses. So like I think you would just have to do the health thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it becomes, yeah, I think I think it would have to be health based, not really damage based. But then like
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
and then
agree with
maybe to avoid carrying per se, you have to deal a certain amount of damage like you do in pest control to get quest credit, something along those
Ooh,
lines.
that's a good. That's a great. Actually, I would like that. I would like that. That would be a great countermeasure for whoever tries to. Because I mean, obviously, people would try to abuse it.
Yeah,
Right?
I think the most,
You know?
I think the
You know?
two issues with it would be people abusing it, one, and two, just actually implementing it would be somewhat difficult.
Yeah. I mean, they like to. I can't hate on Jack. I'm one of those people that hate on Jagex, but I still play them. So, my opinion means little.
Yeah.
I can't say shit. All right, so you had that one. What was the other idea you were talking
All
about?
right, so I think, so with 99 capes, right, it's all a status symbol. Like everyone, we all play this game, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what you grind for. It doesn't have stats. Some of them, like crafting cape, it's the closest to a bank. Once you do that, teleport to a bank. There's like some have functionality, but it's not like I don't wear my strength cape, right? My fire cape will always be superior. And with how long the game's been out now, over 5 years now, it's like, yeah, I have a fishing cape, but so do other, tens of thousands of other people. But I got mine back in 2014, right? So I feel like in game there should be a way that you can either say, like, I remember back in like 2011, there was the auto chat, and you could be like, my woodcutting level is so and so. I feel like there should be a way that incorporated with your cape in game, you can tell people when you hit level 99. So it'd be like, say I got it on November 21st, 2014. There should be a way in game where I can, other people can see that, and I can tell other people that.
Oh shit. That's actually a great idea.
You think so? You like that one too?
I like that a lot. That's ingenious though. Like I really like that. Just cause it's kind of like show your dick.
Yeah, like that's I don't know. It's just one of those things where like it would even just be cool for the individual to know when they got it. Like if I stopped playing for a year, like I did and you did, like I don't exactly remember when I got 99, and that's something that's like kind of near and dear to all of us, and it would be cool to have a way to remember it without taking a screenshot on that day and digging through your files or anything along those lines.
Yeah, because that stuff can always be lost. It's not like you can save that.
Yeah.
But if like a right click option, right?
Yeah, exactly, and it tells you.
When you examine it, it tells you the exact date instead of like I'm examining the magic cape right now. It's like a cape worn by the most powerful mages. Like okay, but when you have fucking thousands of people with 99 magic, you gotta separate the fucking.
The people.
You gotta separate the elite there.
Right. Yeah. Like, because beyond farming higher XP to move up the ranks, like it'd just be cool to be like, hey, I got it on this date, and that's before a lot of other people. Or even to build on that, I mean, this, I'm assuming it's too far into the game for this to be possible, but if it say it told you the date and say you're the 700th person to get it, like if it could tell you that too, I think that'd be something that'd be really it'd be pretty intricate and pretty hard to do, I'm sure, but that would be really cool if I could be like, oh, you got it on February 22nd.
That'd be hard.
Yeah, I don't think they could do it. I mean, maybe, I have no idea, but if it was like you got your cape on February 22nd, 2015, and you were the 1,000th person to get it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I feel like that would just be more of like, kind of like how you do like a Google Chrome and you go to your history and you go through your history. Like, I feel like that's all that would really be, and they might be too lazy to do
Right.
that, but that'd be so.
And think about it, like,
That'd be
if
so
they need
nice.
something to do with
That'd be
player
so nice.
housing, you could hang up a cape, and anyone who goes in there can click on it, and it tells you that information, you know? And that's how other people can see it.
Ooh, that dude. I think that's better than that other idea. I think that'd be so sick. That'd be so sick, dude. That'd be you need to submit that. You need to submit that because
Throw it up on the
that'd be
Reddit.
awesome as a trophy for
Yeah,
construction.
like,
Yeah, dude, that'd
because
be-
they
yeah,
need a
dude,
gold
that'd
sync,
be
right?
awesome.
Because the amount of gold in the game is a lot higher than it should be right now, and it's, you know, just going to keep going up and up with new methods of getting gold. So that'd be a really good gold sync if it's like, you know, 500k to hang it, and then you got to buy a new one, or, you know, and then it'll get people back in the player houses and stuff if that's something that they desire. Because I mean, there's a world for stuff like that, but like if you, I don't know what world it is, but it's like player owned housing. It might be 329 or something like that. I don't know how active it is. I don't go there, but if they need a way to get people going, like, that would really help, like, get, you know, more house parties and stuff, because that used to be a pretty big deal. Now I'm sure people just use it for gilded running, but
Yeah. Yep, I was just about to say. It seems like the whole. I feel like that. I feel like that. There's community too, man. Like the community has gone antisocial.
yeah, and that would be a really good way to.
Back in the day, like we were just talking. Yeah, because we were talking about like the castle wars. So back in the day, castle wars because it's a team thing. Now it's. You know what I mean? Like, same thing with the houses. A lot of people used to do like dick around. I remember going into the boxing.
Oh yeah, dude, the way you moved as the boxer was so funny.
Yeah, dude. It's just like the nostalgia, just having fun and shit like that. People, I feel like it's not as people don't want to have as much as they used to.
Yeah, the game just a lot more catered towards like being efficient, because it's one of those things where we're not kids anymore, so, and it's not our first time playing this game,
Yeah.
so people know how to maximize everything. You can't unlearn the
very
things that you have
true.
already learned in the game, and that's like one of those like really hard like parallels to overcome.
Yeah, that's a great point. Actually, I feel like that's a, and it sucks too because it's hard, especially with the updates. It's hard to have updates that don't make it like RS3, but at the same time keeping it 07
Right.
It's a tough ass balance.
I mean, it's definitely not like
really
air
tough.
quotes
It's really
2007 Scape anymore. Like, the game has moved so far past then, but it's just kind of like the alternate reality, I would say, now of like what the game could have been, and, you know, had it moved forward and they not done other things. And so, I don't know. But not to get caught up on this, so let me ask you this. If you could change a skill,
Sure.
what would it be
Sure.
and why? Like, what would you want to see? What skill would you want to see different? How would you want to see it different?
Alright, so what I was thinking is your favorite skill.
Don't do this to me,
which is
buddy.
fishing.
Ugh.
And I just feel like it's like one of the old. So all the old skills kind of have like they've kind of been updated, right? I mean, wood cutting had the vines, and now they have all this other crazy.
Yep, the
crap.
redwoods.
Thieving has mad stuff. Agility has like new arenas and things like that. But fishing doesn't really have that, right? I mean, I could be wrong. Like there is.
They have like
fish
a
that come out
high
and
end
shit like that, but there's no
shark
real
thing, but it's nothing really that. It's nothing, you know, crazy. It's not that big of an update, you know. So it's not like the other ones, I would say.
Do you need something specific to fish it with?
I think it's gated by
know?
a level. I'm not sure. I've never really done it because I was already 99 by the time it came out. So.
Gotcha. All right. So, well, I could be wrong then. Obviously. But so what I'm thinking is it's kind of like the same type of thing. I mean, there's the fishing guild, all the stuff you kind of just stay in one spot, fish. It's pretty simple.
It's definitely a pretty
simple,
linear
boring.
path. You either go to
My
fishing
idea-
guild or you just do barb fishing, really. So. I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't say it's. I guess I can't say it's boring because it's not as entertaining. I guess I could say because I can't call it boring because away from keyboarding skills, I've lived. So I can't
Right.
say that. But alright, so my idea, not to kind of dribble on, but my idea is kind of alright. So just as an example,
Yep.
right? Kind of like an Atlantis sort of city-ish type of thing. It doesn't have to be like a whole new world, anything crazy where you need quests and all this shit. Maybe like a mini game,
Right.
a mini island.
New mini games are always good because they're just something to do.
Yeah, exactly, man, it's just something to do, something to help, and you get the fishbowl from Slate, the fishbowl head. So you got that down there. You jump into the Catherby, jump off the shores. You're in there. You're in
That'd be
there.
sick.
And there's like a whole different way to fish. Like you don't have to just stick a fucking net inside a little.
Right, you're actually in there, all up in that bitch.
Yeah, like it's a little more strategic than that because you're actually in the water, so to speak. I guess it kind of be similar to Hunter almost. If I want to be real with you, so I'm not sure if that would be. I'm not sure if that would be for fishing or Hunter.
I mean, it'd be pretty cool for fishing though, to like actually go in there and have it be like hands-on, and you try and like catch them, something along. I mean, it could even be if it's a mini game, it could be.
Definitely.
If it's a mini game, like it could duo for both. You know what I mean? It can be. You get XP for both. It might not be the meta, it might not be the best, but if people enjoy it, like then that's worthwhile to go and try and do. Yeah,
just something to change the skills. Yeah, dude, because fishing has been fucking dead. Fishing is just like the more anti-social AFK skills in it.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Like no one really.
That bitch up.
It's one of those skills where people don't really talk when they're doing it. Like when I was always at the fishing guild and stuff, I don't have any interaction with anybody. Even when I talk, it's very few and far in between. But at the woodcutting guild, at least, I feel like it's a little less AFK, and you can interact with people because they're paying attention a little bit more with like ewes moving more and more and stuff of that nature.
I agree. Sorry. So funny. Just want to bring this up.
Sure.
Has it seemed like the amount of beggars has gotten like outstanding? I just had somebody come up right next to me. I just died. Can you guys help me out? Hit him with the solid. Everybody laughing, and he just says okay.
Here's the thing.
Like I feel like people don't even try anymore.
I think begging went up because you see YouTube videos of like them giving beggars money and stuff, so people are just. It's one of those things where like a friend has done it. I don't know exactly off the top of my head who else has done it, but like they give noobs money and like, or a friend is really bad with this where like he'll give them money to see what their scam is or whatever, so people see it and they just see these YouTube videos and they're like, oh well, if these people are making gold, like I can make gold off that. And I feel like that's like their mindset, which is it's not like awful for the game, but it's not good for the game either. Like I saw a video which was pretty interesting and entertaining, some guy selling like 13 trout to see what people would give him, like how much they would give him, and they were giving him a ton of gold. So after that people are blowing up the world with the same thing over and over again. So I don't know.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I can't say it's terrible for the game because everyone's at that low point, but it's just so hard
Right.
to tell. But didn't mean to go off topic.
No, you're good. I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
That's
what it's all about.
Completely off guard. All right. So, which skill would you improve, Joe?
I would have to say either.
And why? Like, what would you?
I would have to say herb, or I would have to say I would want to see herb lore better, or not better. Alright, this is what I want to see. I want to see herb or crafting become profitable, because right now they're both buyables and you can't make money off them really, and if you can, it's like technically a loss because the time that you're investing in it, you could be like, if you were to spend the money on the skill and then do something more profitable for those hours, it's more beneficial. So, and just inherently in any game, like if you're crafting or even like smithing, you don't make money off them, but it doesn't make sense because that's what it should be. You know what I'm saying? Like there should be a way that that you can make money off of it. It just doesn't make sense to me that you can't. You would if I were to tell you like you play a game and you're a high smithing or high herb or crafting.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, you know what's going on. Is it better now?
I'm having a little bit of problem there. It's
okay.
Good. It's good. You're not cutting out. There we go.
So what I would say is like, that's how
yeah, dude. I agree though. Just lost your whole train of thought.
It's all good.
I agree. No, you're right though. Like the herb blower, smithing, crafting. Those are like the. If you look at almost any other game you play, those three skills are like the essential skills that you need for anything in the game. Like herb blower is for the potion, shit like that. Crafting and smithing is for what the fuck you're wearing. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that But I think what they need to do is they need to come out with something that's even if it's a higher level, right? So inherently the problem is supply and demand. There's more herbs than potions and things of that nature. So if it just there's more potions as opposed to herbs. So the herbs cost more because there's less. So inherently the issue is like bosses drop them and there's other ways to get them outside of just strictly farming. So like I think they should come out a way where the herb is just like it's like the potion needs to be player made. It can't be dropped anywhere. Like the herb can't be dropped anywhere. It has to be solely they need to come up with a way where the herb is like the potion that you make is profitable. And even if it's just a higher level and only higher levels get to do it, like if I spend 100 mil to get 99 herb, all I get is the cape.
Yeah. It's nothing because you're just spending millions.
Yeah.
It's not like it's fire where you can like get by easily. Like it's not like you can make regular attack potions to 99. You know what I mean? And it's you can do willows. Problem at all. But if you do herb lore, you can't just make regular attack potions or regular strength potions to 99 because you would need like millions. You know what I mean? And it would just still cost you. It would cost you too much, and like even that would just cost you too much. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. But what would you do to like? So what are you saying? Like you would need a certain skill? Like is it like a certain potion skill wise, or like what do you?
You would have to be like, I mean, maybe if it's not profitable up till 90, and then at that point you unlock it. So because if everyone has access to it, then it's not going to be profitable. The supply and demand, there's just going to be too many in the game. So if it's gated by a high level, and that's when you make the gold, like that's fine. I know right now you need high herb so you can do so you can do raids, right? But I mean, that's not everyone wants to do raids, and that's just a weird concept that I don't know. That just seems silly that you still don't make money off the skill. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So you're saying like basically an unbuyable herb, right? So, like,
yeah, it'd have to be man-made. I think that would be a cool way to do it, where you have to like it can't drop anywhere. Like it has to be manufactured. If you have to do like a mini game, or you have to farm it or something along those lines.
Yeah, maybe a mini game, maybe both. Actually, that would be pretty cool. A nice incentive for farming, because farming is kind of bleh. It hasn't really changed much. And
I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't like. So like, I don't know, and I just feel like people overlook farming. I mean, it's definitely very profitable. That better than anyone. But
what kind of What potion would you make it though?
That I do not know.
Like strictly, just. I mean, not doesn't have to be anything that would actually like help in the game type thing. But specifically, like, what would your perfect potion be then? Like, what would you want it for? Like, if it could be literally for anything.
Man, off the cuff, maybe something that's good for PKing. I don't know. Something that somehow incentivizes PKing in some way I think would be beneficial.
Ooh, ooh. What about a critical chance potion?
That'd be cool. Yeah, or it could increase your max hit even. Yeah, that'd be really awesome.
Yeah, like not necessarily like a strength. Like it wouldn't be a strength potion. So like
Yeah.
how there's so like what like saying
Yeah.
how treasure trails and shit have those drop rates. I would assume that every hit has a rate. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna hit. Oh, yeah. So yeah, that would be that could be cool.
Yeah,
Right?
it would make
Yeah.
the
Okay.
rate. Yeah, even if it's like brief, it'd just be cool
That's
to
it.
see the KO potential and stuff like that increase in the game.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like that whole concept of yours actually. That reminds me of another skill. Like how we were saying, the skills the major skills don't really get that much love. Smithing, the primary skills rather, for regular gaming like this. Smithing, herb lore, and crafting. They don't really get the love. I think crafting, something that you should be able to do is make like the Fashionscape clothing, like kind of the stuff you get from treasure trails and shit like that. I think you
Right.
should be able to make that after a certain level of crafting,
That'd be really
like say
cool.
90, obviously 90 plus.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think this
yeah,
should be
and
higher
then like
end tier stuff. And I would even say if maybe if you get a treasure trail like that, it's kind of to steal a WoW concept, but you get a pattern and then you can make it. Like so, you have to have the level and you kind of have to get lucky,
yeah,
or
ooh, that'd be
you can
cool.
buy the pattern because I mean they need a gold sink in the game right now anyway. So that would be something that'd be helpful because I'm sure a lot of people would want to buy that.
That Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I like the pattern thing, kind of like how they have the what the hell is it? The paint kits and shit like that, right?
Yep, yep. The ornament kits I think they're called or something.
Yeah, yep. That's what they're called. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, that'd actually be a really cool idea. They should have did that for crafting instead of just giving it away for free like a bunch of idiots.
Because I mean, gold is a problem. Like there are some problems that we're approaching in the game, and if they need gold sinks, there's a lot of ideas that they could implement. I don't know how hard they'd be to write into the game's code, but I feel like there's things that they can do that are pretty easy to, and that people would be willing to buy in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, dude. There's just so many fucking things, man.
Yeah.
You've come up with some fucking brilliant ideas though, so I'm really impressed. We gotta get some of this shit on fucking somewhere pulled.
Yeah, man.
Somewhere pulled. I don't know, man, but I think some of those ideas need to be implemented in this game.
We'll try and get our voices heard, you know? All right, let me ask
Yeah.
you
All
this.
right. So.
Oh, no, you go ahead. You go ahead. You can
What's up?
ask. All right, well, I was just going to ask, who's your favorite content
Alright.
creator? Since we are in the realm of,
Content creator.
yeah, YouTuber or Twitch streamer or anything like that,
I'm gonna
Past or
have to
present.
go. Um, I'll go Chris Archie.
Really?
Archie. Yeah, he kind of got me into just watching. Well, I would say Elf Mage for people who don't know who Elf Mage is. He's a very old RuneScape PKer. I'm talking about before RuneScape 3 was the thing. He's somebody I used to PK with, me and a whole group of guys. It was actually really fucking sick.
You got
This
banned or
guy's like
something,
crazy.
right?
He would have been. I think so. Actually, I know he tried to come back, and I don't know what happened with him afterwards. But he would have been. He was great. But Archie, he kind of put me onto really watching streamers and shit like that, just because of his personality. And I like watching his PK videos because that's all I love to do. And I was getting to the point where my peers were getting close to being maxed, so I'd have to figure out what type of other account I would want to go, and so I would watch, higher level accounts.
Right.
And he was just a fun personality. He always he knew what he needed to get from his viewers. Like, he respected his viewers. He knew that he needed that content, and I just liked his person. I think he's actually a mod now for the.
He is a
game,
J
right?
mod. Yep, he
Right.
is mod Archie now. So
Yeah, yeah, dude.
It's
He's
definitely
made
worked out
full
for him.
circle from fucking playing the game to now being a part of like the management of the game. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how just playing a game can really take you places, and just making videos for fun.
Yeah. So, what about you, Joe? Who do you got?
It's tough, but I would probably say mine is Alfie, and he's better known as Alfie Rules on Twitch. I was watching Bodie one time, and he hosted Alfie during the very first season of Dead Man, which was a while ago now, which is crazy to think about. But anyways, he hosts him, and normally I just instantly click off. I have no interest, but I was like, I'll give this guy a chance. He seems like an alright dude. And he didn't have all that many viewers at the time. I mean, he gets good viewers now, just then, because it's just tough when there's the big name guys, whatever. And he was just so genuine, and he was really funny to watch, and he just had a really good personality, I thought. So I stuck with him, and ever since then, like, he's really genuine. Like, his reactions are hilarious. If you haven't seen them, I highly encourage that you look them up on YouTube, especially his hardcore Iron Man dying to Iron Dragons is very funny. It's like straight out of a movie. But yeah, like, he just does a lot of cool things. Like, he gifts subs, like, out of his own money. He'll sub people, and some people think it's disingenuous, but I just think he's being a good guy, and he just wants, other people to be happy, and he doesn't really seem to care about money, and he has really good values. And like, even on my birthday, as a joke, I told him yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
Cut you
You're
off,
good.
buddy.
Like, even on my birthday, as a joke, I said, now I have all this money to donate for you. And he was like, no, man. He got all the Twitch chat to say happy birthday to me. And he said any money that I would donate on that day, he would give
Sweet.
back.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's
Actually.
like, most streamers would probably just take the money and be like, hell yeah, dude, payday for me. But he was completely opposite.
Yeah, dude, just take the money and run. I already know how that goes, dude.
Yep.
So many people, just the scam mentality of people nowadays in general,
It's
though.
a big part of the RuneScape mentality. It's kind of crazy, but it's always been there, and it always will be, I guess.
Yeah. So, Joe, what have you been doing this past week, man? I know we were supposed to touch up on that, and we kind of got lost in transition a bit. But what have you been doing this week in the RuneScape world?
So I didn't do all that much, but for starters, I finally got full graceful. I'm level 76, and I'm basically level 77 agility. I got all my levels from fishing, like I said in the first episode. So I finally got it. I feel like less of a noob now, having it at the high 70s. So that's nice. I got a few hunter levels because I eventually want to get the quest cape and that, and rune crafting, the last two that I need to get. And before I let you touch upon what you've done this week, we started some free-to-play pures that we've made, so we've also been passively leveling those. So yeah, I'll let you take away that because you're the better free-to-play PKer, and you can explain the accounts a little bit better than I can.
All right, so just touched on that. We made the accounts, and it's kind of sucks because we went through quite a few names. Right,
yeah,
that
man.
Wouldn't work for whatever reason.
So the website says that the names are available, but they're actually not, and it gives you an error that isn't very, like, you would have no idea. So it's something they really need to fix, because if a new player came along and wanted to play and like had a name and it was saying, oh, it's available and you can use this, and they're trying to get into the game, right, and they can't sign in and they don't know why. Like, I didn't know right away, and I went on my lunch break at work and I tried a different browser. Still didn't work. So if a new player comes along and that's the case, like, they might not even bother with the game and just be like, screw it. So that's something they really need to fix.
Yeah. Yeah, like, what incentive would they have? And that's the thing, too, what I was thinking. We were talking about that while we were doing it, too. It's like, what happens if somebody's trying to play and it doesn't work?
Yeah,
And
right.
there's
Like
like
you're
no
just shit
home
out of luck.
screen.
Yeah,
There's no anything. Yeah, it's just like, try again later, and they're like, okay. So they try again later, and
and it
they're
still
like,
doesn't work. You're
you're
like,
gonna try again so many
yeah,
times.
right. Until you're just
Yeah,
like,
and
screw it.
they're like, ah, fuck this.
And new
Yeah,
players is always a good
exactly,
thing
dude.
for
And like,
everybody.
no,
So
yeah, like we ended up having to look it up, right? But not everyone's gonna look it up, you
yeah,
know?
they might just be like, I'm shit out of luck. Like it's crazy, but that's just the
Yeah,
way it
dude,
is.
that was a pain. But anyways, all right. So the accounts, right? We're making a range 2H hybrid accounts. So for people who don't know what that is, it's like a primary, it's like the primary transition account from a free to play PKer to a pay to play PKer. So what you're doing is basically, you have the maple short bow. You basically present yourself almost as a ranger. You might want to add some type of bonus somewhere for yourself for strength, maybe like the amulet. I personally like to go defense with the power amulet, just to, I'm more of a preventative PKer than an attacking PKer, if that makes sense. I like to disable the opponent's strengths, but that's just me. Anyways, what you do is the maple short bow, you hit them, go right till they're about to be low HP, and then you whack them with the 2H when they,
Right in the
before
head.
they can eat while you're about to kill them. Yep, bang, like that, whack-a-mole status. But yeah, and it's just a really really fun way to play. It's like it's pretty easy. It's a great transit for people who don't PK, or if you suck at PKing. I highly recommend doing that. It's super fun, and it's a great way to learn the transitions to play to pay to play PK.
It's low
Sorry, I
risk
got
too.
tongue-tied. It's just a lot of
You know what I mean?
low
Like,
risk. Yeah, exactly, dude. It's not like you're a mage where you're dropping like fucking 100k on runes every session, or if you're like a melee and you have 100k every session in case you die. You know what I mean? It just the it's better. I prefer it. It's a lot more fun. You have a lot more range, and right now we're gonna be probably next episode we should be PKing on them, right?
yeah, and we can give you guys that content right now. I'm just doing Slayer, so I mean, if that's something that tickles your fancy, I definitely say tune in and
Yeah,
see what we can do.
Dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, uh, who could resist that? Laugh at us and tell us we suck. So, but
Yeah, man. And so the past week for me, dude, has been kind of
yeah, what have you been doing on
kinda
your main account?
So I've been getting some farming up. I mean, we talked about it a bit last week. I just love it for the money making. I'm trying to hit 99 eventually, and that I got from 78 to 80, 83. And currently, though, I'm on the grind for 99. Smithing, we talked about that too last podcast.
Gotta love that cape,
The
baby.
capes and how, yeah, the cape's just amazing. I've been grinding it nonstop. I went from 78 to 88, and I'm actually 175k from 89. So I'm hoping to be at least halfway there for the next podcast. And that's been my week, man. It's just pretty dull. Training that pure. We got 50 ranged, 33 combat, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we're at.
Nice
Well, you're
little
at.
loop.
I'm a little bit behind you, but hey, they got to start somewhere, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll be killing it in no time, dude. It's been a long week though.
Yeah, it has. Is there anything else you want to touch upon, buddy?
Not much. You said you had an announcement, right?
Yeah. So actually, speaking.
For
Yeah. Speaking of Alfie as my favorite streamer, I reached out to him actually on what do you call it? Twitter. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. I reached out to him on Twitter and asked him if he'd be willing to come on when he's free and not streaming, and he said he would do that. And it just goes back to why he's one of my favorite streamers. He's like a really genuine guy. He's a guy you could have a beer with, and he's willing to help out his fans. Like he's getting nothing out of it. It's just obviously he's got a busy schedule. I don't know when he'll be able to come on, but it's really cool that he's even willing to do that for us. So eventually he will be on. And I'm really looking forward to that.
That sounds great, man. I'm actually looking forward to that too. That'd be nice to pick his brain and
Yeah.
kind of see where he was at, you know, from the beginning stages to where he's at now.
Exactly. I think it'll be really insightful, and it'll be something that people want to hear, and even, you know, to go as far as to see like what got him into playing the game and stuff like that will be really interesting, I think.
It would. Damn, dude. Are you in World 70 right now?
Yeah, I just I was
You should come to
banking.
the Grand Exchange, man.
Yeah, I was just there, man. I saw the squad that you guys had lined up. I saw the guy with the quest cape next to you.
The super sexy squad.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got
see the guy
Storyteller next to you?
with the dragons. Dude, there's another guy now too. There's four
Really?
of us now. All of us with pets. It's just that's nice. I like that. I like that.
Hey, how about our parting story be about how you got Rocky?
Oh, Rocky. That was the easiest thing I've ever got. I was actually kind of disappointed because I thought the grind was gonna be harder. So for people who don't know, my thieving is only 59, and I have the Rocky pet.
It's
And
got to be
all
very
I
rare.
did was yeah, it's pretty fucked up too. All I did was steal from silk stalls, right? And I went from 56 to 59. I only gained 3 levels, so that's like ridiculous, right? And I got him. First thing I did was run into that room where you pickpocket the knight. I killed the knight. I said, "Fuck you guys! I got Rocky." I just left.
That's awesome. Crash it up,
So
dude.
it
People
was-
take that shit pretty
yeah.
serious.
Yeah, people got pissed that I killed the knight, but
It's the way she goes, right?
I was yeah, man, I was just on a super nice high, so it was cool.
And how long did it take you to get? You have one
well-
other pet, right? How long did it take you to get that?
Oh, yeah, I had the golem for mining. I got him at 97 from mother load mining. That was terrible. That was really terrible.
It's crazy that
I feel like I should have got him a lot sooner.
yeah, the
You don't have any
discrepancy in
pets,
that.
do you, no?
No, I died with a KBD head, and I didn't realize it wasn't insured. So I don't know how rare that pet is really, but I'm sure it'll be a pain in the ass to get it back. So I haven't really tried. I avoid that place
Damn, dude.
because I've
That's
already seen a
my
D
second
pickaxe. Yeah, yeah, it's so awesome. I really miss it.
I feel bad.
It's
Yeah,
it's
I
my
feel
own
bad.
fault, I
Maybe
guess.
that's
But
my second favorite.
yeah, that was my one and only pet. I'll never. I haven't really skilled a lot since they came out with the skilling pets. Like I've primarily put all my hours in before that, so like I know I'll never see the fishing one probably.
We're gonna. Yeah, that's how I feel with the wood cutting one. We're gonna have to get you a pet though. Fuck that shit. Next podcast,
Yeah,
you're
man.
getting a pet.
I don't know about that, but we could try. The Bando's pet would be pretty cool.
Ooh, maybe that's what we should do next time.
I'm with it. Some PK and a little bit of that. You would go over pretty well.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I like that, man. All right, so this is us. TPJ.
Yeah, this will go up on YouTube.
Closing statement.
This will go up on YouTube, so if you guys enjoy it, subscribe and like, and feel free to follow us on Twitch too. We hope to be doing this every week. We'll also be real quick, Tom, if you want to tell them about your giveaway that you'll be doing at the start of every pod as well.
Oh yeah, for people, we touched upon this a little bit at the beginning, but every week I have either a Fashionscape or a Runescape trivia contest. It's a money giveaway basically. The prizes, the total prize amount is never lower than 5 million. Burns a hole in my pocket, so what the fuck do I care? Basically, you just gotta catch me. My private chat is always on. I'm always in World 70. It's usually in World 70 unless things go bad, like kind of how they went today. But basically, people gotta answer questions. Just be there, participate, and that's really all I ask of you. And you can come away with some free GP, and that's how that works, right? So next week, hopefully, we have a bigger audience there for that, and that'll be cool.
Yeah, we definitely hope to see some of our fans out there. And until next time, guys, take it easy. This is Joey.
And this is Tom.
Until next time, fellas.